the broadcast at the same time, and I'm like, wait, no, that's not how this works. It's because it's on the wrong day. My brain's all messed up. There we go. Because we have to do the YouTube preamble.
Oh, we haven't been doing the YouTube preamble?
No.
What are we even doing with our lives?
I set it up. I was putting in the sponsor. Because I forgot to put in the sponsor.
Oh, that's not us. Whoops! I clicked on the wrong thing because I saw you.
That's funny. Did you click on Star Trek?
I saw you, and I saw the red, which looks like live. And yeah, I clicked on Star Trek.
Clicked on the hey everybody. If you're joining in, or if there's anybody watching before we start our show, which is a day late. Oh, actually, no, hold on. We gotta share this a bunch of places. Before we start the show, go check out The Final Frontier. After this, go check out The Final Frontier. It also premieres today.
And go yell at Tellus.
And if you're Canadian, yell at Tellus for us. Also, we have a bunch of PSAs to start the show. Don't worry, we're gonna get there. Hold on.
PSA, public service announcement.
Yes, we do.
For just pennies a day, you can feed us. We eat pennies.
We eat pennies. We boil them down and we make them into a soup.
Poverty.
Penny soup. I love how you tagged me in that Instagram post yesterday, despite the fact that you knew I had no internet.
You were at the same place I was, and so you did when I tagged you.
Oh, I see. I understand.
Unless I did that when I got home on data, I don't actually remember.
Spurrofthemoment.com. That's not the place. Sorry.
3, 2.
I didn't copy the right link. Hold on. Bear with me. Bear with me another moment. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay.
It's not the place. Sorry. 3.
Okay, good. You get your ass.
Now we're ready. Yeah, that would be very, very upsetting if we were a day late and we had no sound. That would be upsetting. In 3, 2, 1. This podcast is brought to you by the Arte Media Pantheon. Please head to artemedia.org to see all kinds of podcasts from our great friends. And if you'd like to start your own podcast, they can provide you with the tools and resources to do so there. So please head to artemedia.org. On with the show, Jordan. Finally,
I'm also here.
Jordan's also here. Finally, it's time for the show, everybody. Welcome to the Spurr of the Moment podcast. I'm your host. I'm a day late, and I'm a day tired, but I'm here. I'm Justin Spurr. I'm joined by my forever incomparable Jordan. Jordan, how's it feel to be incomparable?
I worked today. I'm tired.
So he finally, for once, he gets to be I work today tired loopy. And I get to be the one who had the day off. It's a reversal of fortune for once. Yes. All right. Elephant in the room. We are late. But it is not our fault. Okay, and this is the first PSA of the day. First PSA of the day is don't drink and drive, kids. Don't drink and drive, because then you end up destroying a power pole and walking off and somehow getting away with only one shoe. And pretty much the whole neighborhood hates you, I assume. They all did, like we did.
And you make it so that a podcast is a day late, and this sucks.
This sucks. But we're here. We are here. We are committed to giving you quality internet content in a completely different time slot than we usually do, which is to say a Monday evening instead of a Sunday morning. But
with a completely different energy level.
We're bringing this is like Spur of the Moment after hours. Like this is even
after hours.
After hours. It's funny you did that. You're gonna think that's funny in a minute. And then the second PSA. So okay, today's show we got a ton of news. All right, we got a ton of news. And I need to start the show by saying that last week, the worst day to be on the internet happened, and that's April Fool's Day. It is the worst day on the internet. I hate April Fool's Day. Jordan, how do you feel about April Fool's Day?
It's the worst day off the internet too. I hate April Fool's Day. It's stupid.
Because okay, I'm just
It's
saying.
a stupid non-denominational holiday that I will not call an actual holiday because it's not a holiday.
You're right. Look,
It's just an annoying day where people lie.
posting fake announcements is no longer funny. Okay, especially when they're like vaguely real sounding. I had 3 friends all message me with fake stories, outraged. They were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe this is happening," and like it took me a fraction of a second longer than it should have to realize they're fake. What makes April Fool's Day jokes funny is when they're obviously fake. When it's possible that they might be real, it's annoying. Okay, can we stop
Part
it
of
now?
your Broadway World podcast knows what's up. The worst day in history.
It's the worst day. She's one of the friends. She sent me a link to an article about a Will Shue Glee spinoff, and like, yeah, it's just believable enough sounding that it could happen. That you're like, oh man, okay. So that's why I was like, April Fool's Day, always check at least 2 sources. But like, Haley, no, you're not the only friend that happened to.
She said, "Hey, I didn't do a damn thing."
I will say you didn't fall for it quite in the same way my other friends went, where they were real outraged and I went, yeah, did you check the date on the article? And they were like, damn, it got me.
I hate April Fool's Day.
I hate it. So 100%.
I hate it because like you'll see these things where it's like, or like these trailers which are really well made, and it's like, man, this looks cool, and then you're like, oh, it's fucking April 1st. This is never coming out, but I want it to.
I mean, it's not as bad. I will say it's not as bad as it used to be. Like when it was in physical media, like when you would open up EGM, like and you saw that picture of Mario and Sora and Mushroom Kingdom Hearts, and you're like,
oh, I'm never gonna forget.
Believable enough.
I'm never gonna forget a childhood friend that I had who had that and he got the April Fool's edition where they were talking about Smash Brothers and how you unlock Sonic and Tails.
Oh my god!
And
Really?
we spent hours and hours and hours trying to unlock that.
No way! Really? I knew that April Fool's Day magazine thing was a thing. I didn't know that we fell for it. I knew that we had tried to do it, but I didn't know that it had come from that.
Childhood friend, yeah, I believe he read it in the magazine and he saw or heard about it. Or
funny.
All I know is
that's
why we spent hours trying to unlock it was because
funny.
The childhood friend had said that it was a thing.
That is very funny. Anyway, there's your PSAs for it. Don't drink and drive, kids, because it makes you an asshole. Okay, and be more
also because it's not safe.
It's also not safe or legal, I assume.
Yeah.
A lot of our audience is American. I assume it's not legal there. Be cool, kids. Take an Uber or walk. Don't crash into a pole.
Be better.
Be better than that asshole who is hopefully in jail. On today's show, boys, we did it. We have some Coyote versus Acme news that I'm very excited for. Now You See Me 3 title. Spider-Man title, the Switch 2. We finally got to find out the name of that Avatar movie. It's a Phineas and Ferb trailer. How close do we get to Venom Spider-Man? Beyond the Spider-Verse, when's that coming out? We got a ton of news today. There's so much news. I got to be honest. CinemaCon happened this week. And just like every day, I was like, there can't possibly be any more news. And then another trailer came out, or another bit of news, or another panel. Like, I just kept seeing videos of Straw Hat Goofy being like, I just got out of the Warner Brothers panel, and you won't believe it. Oh yeah, we're also going to talk about Superman, the Superman footage.
Superman.
So much news. I couldn't get to it all. Okay, if I missed something that you wanted me to talk about, wanted us to talk about, leave it in the comments, leave it in the chat. We'll talk about it next week. Okay? Let's move on with the show. Oh yeah, second half of the show is Pick an Actor 3. You saw the title. It's Fraser versus Radcliffe. Stan Radcliffe versus Brendan Fraser.
Phrase man.
You know what? I'm going to save it. I'm going to save my achievement. Jordan, you will be proud of me for my choices I made. That's all I'll say. Okay,
All
let's start off with the top. At the top, Jordan. Boys, we did it. High five, us exclusively. You're not cyber high fiving me. High five. We're nailing it. We're nailing the high five because we did it, boys and girls, and everything in between. We did it. We encouraged enough people to go out and see The Day the Earth Blew Up. Enough people went out and saw that movie that Coyote versus Acme has been saved by Ketchup Entertainment. They have issued a statement. I'm looking for the statement. Their statement is, "We are thrilled to have made a deal with Warner Brothers Pictures to bring this film to audiences worldwide." Yes! And look, I'm not saying that for our part in this, that we sent 141 people at $14 a piece. We sent them to watch that movie, Jordan. I'm not saying they should, when that movie eventually does come to theaters, invite us to the premiere.
But what I am saying is, I want free tickets and invite me to the premiere.
I was implying it.
He's not saying it. I'm saying it.
I was implying it. That
I'm saying it.
We're the reason exclusively
It's
this
100
movie is coming out now.
It's 100% because of us,
all us.
and I want to be invited to.
Look, it doesn't have to be the LA premiere. I will settle for the Vancouver one.
I mean, just sure. I don't. Just give me free tickets.
Give me free tickets to this. Okay, you know what?
Just
bail on the premiere. Just free tickets to the next one. We sold this one. We will obviously are also going to sell the next one. We are going to go. We will pay for this. That's what the point of it. But we would do it for free. Just saying. But we did it, boys. We did it. Pat on the back.
Like, I'm not saying that I'll be far nicer to a movie if they send it me like to watch it for free.
But again, we are implying it.
I'm not saying
we're
it.
winking and we're nudging is what we're saying. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But also, apparently, that movie's quite good. Anyway, Jordan, I'm not even gonna lie. This next story made me unreasonably excited. Okay, so this story comes with background.
Was it unreasonably, or was it exactly reasonable?
I laughed audibly. So, Jordan, you're familiar with the movie Now You See Me?
I know the name.
Jordan, what have I always said was the biggest missed opportunity based on a joke? I can't take credit for this. This is from Dan Harmon, but he's absolutely right. What is the biggest missed opportunity with Now You See Me 2? What should they have called it?
Now You Don't.
Jordan, you'll never guess what they're calling the third one.
Now You Don't?
They're calling it Now You See Me 3, Now You Don't. Right? Applause. I mean, it's a movie too late, but you did it. We did it, folks. We did it. Again, we did it. No, just very funny. I thought that... I was watching Now You See Me 2, and I had to pause it. And I was like, do I save this? I need to tell Jordan this. This is the funniest thing ever. No, I'll save it for the show. It'll be good on the show. It's funny. This is funny. I enjoyed it. Yes, I watched the... Spoiler alert, I watched the second one for Daniel Radcliffe, and he's apparently coming back for the third one, and I'm real fucking excited.
He was in that.
Yep. We'll talk about it. But I'm very much looking forward to the third one of that. I really enjoyed that movie. Jordan, what did you think about that extended Superman clip that came? It was at CinemaCon, and then James Gunn put it on the internet.
Here's what I'll say. Before I had a passive interest in this movie, I think I'm actually kind of a little bit excited for it.
Right? I mean, there wasn't a thing... Here's what I will say, okay? Number one, James Gunn is James Gunning all over it. Number one. Just number one. He's James Gunning very hard. If you don't like his sense of humor, like, he's got that kind of humor where it's like, oh, it's doing a serious, like, mindful moment, and then the dog jumps on him and breaks a rib, and it's doing a joke. Like... It's that kind of movie. It has very much the same tone and vibe. I feel like the Guardians movies. It's Superman by way of the Guardians movies, and not Superman by way of Peacemaker or Suicide Squad, which is for the better, I think.
Yeah, it's an improvement. It's colorful and zany.
And funny. Yeah. Superman should be funny. Like is the humor a tad? Look, I definitely could see the argument that your mileage of this will vary, but it's very much a Marvel. They've marveled all over, and if you have an issue with that, then you're probably not going to be for you. But was already excited for this. I am now very excited for this. Absolutely look forward to a Superman special when that comes out, because we will be doing a Superman episode.
Superman.
Next, Jordan, they announced. We'll do that last. The new Last Airbender movie now has an official title. What do you think it's called?
Is that the animated one? The one where they're adults?
Yes.
Also, Avatar.
Also, I'm gonna encourage you not to overthink it.
Avatar: The Return of the Airbender.
Ooh, that's good. In fact, I would say that's a better title than what they have. Their title is The Legend of Oh my god, I almost said it wrong. Let's do that again.
You can just get out now. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Just real quick. How high is could your gain be turned down just a smidgen? Just not a ton, just a smidgen, just a bit, a little bitty bit. Because like you're really like. I think it's your new phone. It's got new software because it's like you're kind of fuzzy. Like when you talk loud, it's really fuzzy and it's making you cut out more than usual. See if
how's that?
That's a bit better. We may turn it down a bit more.
Yeah, see, that's interesting. I hear the gain now.
Oh, you hear
like it's now like that. I don't hear myself as much now.
Okay, that means that you're probably too high. That's good to know.
So, but that was never a thing. On my old phone, that dial on my end meant nothing.
Like for me, I've got the mic a ways away.
On this one, I can absolutely hear the difference. That's interesting.
Yeah, if I have my gain all the way up, I can hear myself. But that's way better. Now you're not as fuzzy. Before, when you were talking loudly, it was really fuzzy. And I'm like, ooh, why is it doing that? Let's see if we can turn. Anyway, Last Airbender. The actual title, sorry folks, technical. The actual title is The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender. It was when you went, how dare you? And I was like, okay, no, we need to fix this. Sorry. Yeah, it's The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender.
I like mine more. The Return of the Airbender.
Yours is better.
Return of the Airbenders.
Revenge of the Airbenders?
Revenge of the Airbender.
Now they use airbending to explode you from the inside. That would be rad.
No, Justin. If it's anything like The Legend of Korra, then the bad guy just literally sucked the air out of people's lungs.
So okay, so this is sort of only for Jordan. So you know how because we didn't have internet. Yeah, that's why we're late. So a lot of my news stories are now improperly loaded, so they don't have the title of them. So I have to like, oh yeah, right, that's what that was. Oh yeah, right. For a lot of this. Next.
I understand.
Did you see the new Phineas and Ferb trailer for the new season?
I had heard that there was a thing, and I saw some small thing, but I don't know if it's the thing that you're thinking about.
I don't know. It was a new trailer for the new season, and I like Dan Povenmire. It just kind of. There's not why. Didn't the show end with the summer ending? Like, how are they gonna? Is it just gonna take place in just it's gonna be timeless now? It's not gonna have any how long can summer vacation go? And it just doesn't. It looks fine. Like it's not really doing anything for me to justify its existence. I guess is my.
It looks okay, but what I would do if I was them is I would have it be the next summer. They're a year older.
But it's like, oh yeah, Doofenshmirtz is back, and he's a bad guy again. Ooh,
yeah, that's my big thing. Like,
that's...
the kids being there and all that's fine. That's not a big thing. I don't care about that so much. You can explain that away. But yeah, the Doofenshmirtz being evil again is just like, well, I mean, he had a huge character growth on Milo's Murphy's Law.
Yeah,
he's not the same. He's not the same character that he was. That makes no sense.
You're gonna undo all of that to do the same joke you've done for another.
Unless they're gonna go the route of he's trying to, like, the joke is that he's trying to be who he was, and he's just not that person anymore.
I'm hoping,
If that's the joke, like, if that's the joke, I can see that working for a couple episodes, and then you find a way to change the status quo within, like, the first 2 or 3 episodes, where, like, him and Perry are now teaming up to stop Dr. Dimensionator or whatever, like one of the other bad guys.
Yeah. Then,
And, like,
all
that's
right.
that's the new status quo.
That's kind of my hope.
To me,
Is that
that's to me the only way that it works.
Is that
the kids doing their thing and doing, like, you can have dozens of new things, and, like, that doesn't really need to change for me.
No.
I don't really. Yeah, you're right. They had a satisfactory ending. Yeah, there's only so many days of summer vacation, unless they have it like it be like this was one day which they didn't show in the beginning, and then have the first episode be like they've like created a device which makes it so their summer goes on for like 150 more days, and that's the point.
Something. I just I'm.
But I mean, to me, I would just do the easier thing and have it be like, yeah.
I've never been a huge Phineas and Ferb guy, so
this is like next year. I would just have it be the next year.
Which, like, I feel like it's fair because it just feels, it always felt too young for me. Or it's like it's just not doing.
I like it. I like it. I like the music. It's fine.
The music is good. I will give it that. The music is good.
I was pretty content with it ending. Like I didn't need more.
Yeah, I never asked for more.
But I mean, there's surely kids that are younger than me that have a deeper nostalgia for it.
Oh yeah, the South Park after like 1,000 years is finally coming back, and the new trailer. And look, I will be the first person to admit when something got me a little, and I will say this trailer was kind of phenomenal. The eerie, unsettling remix of "Blame Canada." Which is sung by Trey Parker's daughter, by the way, which is really cool.
Feels way too relevant in this day and age.
I know.
Like, they know, man, what they're doing.
They know what they're doing, and like in the trailer, we see some angry Canadians going to war. Don't be fucking with no Canadians. Don't mess with the Canadians, bro. South Park knows.
Geneva Convention is all I'll say.
Yeah. But yeah, it just seems like they're going back to going more for the right wing people. Certainly they're going for Elon Musk, which I mean it'd be interesting to see like him to see if he can truly take a joke, which he can't. By the way, the I'm gonna go do PCP. Clearly they were really blown away by was it not PCP? Was it PCP? Ketamine. It was ketamine. Clearly they were very blown away by the fact that Elon Musk just says he does ketamine, because like it shows up twice in that trailer, and like just the way Randy's like, yeah, I'm gonna go do ketamine and fuck up the government, just kind of indicates where their opinions lie on the matter. Which I think is funny.
So with in this new season with the Canada stuff, because from what I remember in the South Park mythos, Satan was redeemed and went up to heaven, didn't he? In the mythos,
Satan. No, I mean, I can't say for sure. The last time I recall,
didn't he die fighting Man Bear Pig, and then he ends up going up to heaven?
Oh yeah. I don't think he's come back. No, since then. That was after he showed up to explain dopamine to Stan.
So it would be funny if in this newest season there's the whole, like they do the whole Canada thing, and like going to war or something is kind of a focal point, and then like in the final moments before the conflict happens, Satan comes down from heaven and is like, guys, we did this like 20 years ago.
It would be funny, if they do a soft
like a soft reference to the movie.
That would be very fun. I mean, to be fair, that's what the Blame Canada is. But I mean, yeah, full blown. It would be very funny if they did. Yeah, it made me laugh. I will say, it made me laugh. Their release is shitty, and like I don't watch their episodes because they're not really on anything. But like, I will be paying attention to it, and I'm actually a little interested to see where it goes.
We will watch your career with great interest.
We will watch with great interest. What's next? What do we got next?
What's new, Scooby-Doo? We're coming after you.
Oh yeah, let's do Spider-Man news. It's our recurring segment. Hey, it's Spider-Man news.
Spider-Man.
So they've officially. Okay. They've. That's not really a release date so much as a. Well, no. Hold on.
Holding on.
No, yeah, it doesn't look like it. But Beyond the Spider-Verse, it's coming out. It's coming out
Oh, good.
in
I thought there was
2027.
concerns that wasn't going to come
No,
out.
at CinemaCon they announced. They said, well, it says they announced a release date, but it just says it just says the trilogy will hit theaters in 2027. That's not really a date so much as it's a release window.
More a release window, but
But,
okay.
okay.
Sure.
Cool. Yeah, cool. Yeah, all right. Cool. I know there was some doubt there that I was.
Sounds like a real Tits McGee situation.
Maybe you should. Actually, it was really funny because I saw someone on Thread say this, where like that movie is not a movie; it's like half a movie. And he had similar issues with The Wicked Part 1, where it's like it's half a movie, it's not a finished movie, and it's not. That movie's not a finished movie. It does not have an ending. And like,
no, it just stops.
If this wasn't going to come out till 2027, it should have had an ending.
Yeah. Especially because there's, at least from what I remember, 2 or 3 points where you could cut it and it would be an ending.
Would be an ending. Apparently, Tom Hardy said that he would only return as Venom on one condition, and you'll never guess what that condition is.
If he gets to fight Spider-Man.
If he gets to fight Spider-Man, and apparently,
which is the only way he should come back.
Right. Apparently, they got close, and inner studio shit. It's like it's the same. Like Vincent D'Onofrio came out and was like, "Yeah, I'll never be in a Spider-Man movie because of contracts and bullshit." And it's like that's so dumb. Like be creative and do the fun shit. Worry about the contract shit after. That's what I'm saying.
Print your money and then you can worry about contracts.
Right. Then split the bounty. Jordan, they announced officially the title of Spider-Man 4. And teases the villain. Oh. Well, I mean, kind of. And teases the villain.
Wasn't it Spider-Man Brave New World or something like that?
Ooh, you're close. You want a second try? It is 3. I will give you a hint. It is 3. I will give you 2 hints. We own the comic, and it's 3 words. It's 3 words, like you said. And it starts with B, just like that.
Brand New Day.
Boom.
Brand New Dawn?
No, got
Brand New Day.
Yep, Brand New Day, yeah. It's the one that takes place in it's the comic that...
After he makes the Mephisto deal.
Yeah, which is what No Way Home is a adaptation of, a loose adaptation of. So yeah, this just kind of makes sense. And yeah, this article is like, it hints at the villain being... Obviously, the villain of that storyline is Mr. Negative. That's where he comes from, in case you forgot.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's the whole bit. Feast, Aunt May working for him, that all comes from that comic book. And yeah, the fact that Mr. Negative is a big twist.
If they're doing a Mr. Negative thing, there's a big difference of this time. There's no Aunt May.
That's why I'm like, yeah. What my vote is for, quite honestly, let's do the MCU version of Scorpion from that Spider-Man.
Yeah,
show.
I mean, especially because
surprisingly
in this version,
brutal, by the way.
In this version, J. Jonah Jameson very much is hunting.
I'm pretty sure that the version of the Scorpion that shows up on that show is supposed to be the one that's in the MCU. That's why he's Mexican.
I could believe that.
I think that's the idea, and so yeah, I would do like the Scorpion like that. Like that's a great way to do the Scorpion and not have him be like stuck in the suit, and he's sufficiently scary and menacing, and have him just beat the crap out of Peter. But also, like, I'm not inherently against Mr. Negative.
I mean, yes, you could do that version of him, and I'm just saying, I fully believe that this version of J. Jonah Jameson would accidentally create the Scorpion, and you could have it be the comic version where he's stuck in the suit, and it looks
never happen.
It looks silly and it's fun.
Yeah, I would love that. That will never happen. No, I could. Why? Because Marvel doesn't do the silly costumes because they're no fun. They have the mask show up in one scene, and then he doesn't wear the mask the whole time. I was disappointed by that.
It could happen.
They want it to be realistic. But no, I could believe the way they could do Mr. Negative. I mean, you could cut Aunt May out of the Mr. Negative storyline, and you just have it where instead of it being Aunt May, it's Peter who doesn't really want to be known, so he's volunteering like to help as Peter Parker, so he's just being superheroing all the time, and he meets him through there, and he is kind of a very realistic villain. Like, he's not a difficult villain, and also you could then theoretically introduce Norman Osborn and have him be like do it like similar to the show, but who's to say? Venom and Spider-Man. The karate. Did I send you the new Karate Kid trailer?
I think you did, and I think I watched it, but that was like 2 weeks ago. So
yeah, it's there's a new kid. There's a new Karate Kid. He's an Asian kid, and it looks like
he wants to teach him karate. He knows kung fu, and he wants to teach him karate or something, or some variation of that.
He's being bullied, like a Karate Kid is, and the Jackie Chan wants. Yeah, he brings in Ralph Macchio to teach him
karate.
Teach him the Miyagi style karate. And I like the kid. The kid's fun, and I really like the dynamic of the three of them. Jackie Chan, when he's training with another guy, is always fun. This movie looks really fun, and I kind of want to watch it in theaters. So I know we talked about doing another martial arts episode another kung fu episode because we had like just so much fun, and we were like, we definitely want to do this again. That will probably be the pretense under which we do that again.
I accept that. I accept that condition of endearment.
I knew you would. Jordan, the Black Mirror trailer revealed the names of the episodes and the synopsises.
Well, that's all right then.
And I'm just gonna say the names. I'm not gonna read the synopsises because I'll be here forever. But they're called Common People, Bête Noire, Hotel Revier, Plaything, Eulogy, and USS McAllister into Infinity. You know what? I will read the summary of that because I'm actually curious as to what that's about. So that the USS McAllister, Jordan.
That's the Star Trek one.
Star Trek one. So this is what it's about. So this is the first time they've done a sequel on Black Mirror. It says Robert Daly is dead, but now the crew of the USS Callister, led by Captain Nanette Cole, are stranded in an infinite virtual universe, fighting for survival against 30 million players. The sequel episode will, all right, okay. So basically, it's what happened once they went through the portal, I guess.
Honestly.
Right.
That episode, the way it ends, honestly, that episode just in general is kind of like, I don't know how to. I'm surprised they didn't take that and make it into a show.
Right.
It kind of works great as its own, not Black Mirror spinoff.
Right. Jordan.
It just feels like it would be a fun show from what I remember of that episode.
So, I'm gonna say the following sentence, and like me, you're gonna be like, all right, I can see that. Okay, Zack Snyder to direct UFC movie Brawler.
Zack Snyder.
He's the
Snyder Bros. The guy that made that Batman and Superman movie, which I hate.
Yeah. Like slow motion.
He's gonna make a sorry, say that again.
A UFC movie.
Okay.
Right?
I guess I could see that.
Just like slow motion, because 300's pretty good. Just slow motion dudes beating each other up. Kind of seems suited for it.
In black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what's the movie about? Is it a movie?
It is a movie.
Or is it just a series of half-naked men beating the crap out of each other?
Okay. It says, from the rough streets of Los Angeles, who gets a shot... Oh, sorry. The movie centers around a young fighter from the rough streets of Los Angeles who gets a shot at a UFC championship, battling his inner demons as he fights for redemption. So that sounds like it's just your basic bitch of a sports drama with like Zack Snyder's visuals, dudes beating each other up.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, I can see it.
I can get behind it.
I have no real strong feelings about this one. one way or the other, but I'm not gonna say it doesn't make sense.
I'll watch it on Netflix.
Yeah, probably. When we do
Um,
like the kung fu episode, and we need another fighting movie, maybe.
maybe. Jordan, the trailer for Tron Ares looks really sick until Jared Leto shows up, and then you're like, oh
Do we not like Jared Leto?
no.
Other than his crimes as the Joker?
His crimes is the Joker. His crimes is Morbius. He was Michael Morbius, Jordan. He was Dr. Michael
I
Morbius.
I didn't watch that, so
Yeah, it's not
I
very good. It's quite bad, actually. Yeah,
I understand.
yeah.
I
And I was
understand.
like, but it otherwess looks sick. All of the
It
stuff
looks
happening
fun,
in the
and
real
it,
world is awesome looking. Like the action sequences
it
look awesome.
yeah, it looks like the logical through line from the last one, where the computer people wanted to escape into the real world, and then now they have.
Right? I'm just like, so
It's kind of,
who is Jared Leto the red guy? Who is
I
Jared Leto?
guess.
And is the red guy a bad guy?
What
Is he a bad
what
guy or a
is
good
Jared
guy?
Leto?
I don't know.
Where is Jared Leto?
My question is like,
Why
is he the
is
bad
Jared
guy?
Leto?
Who's the bad? Like, this is very.
That's my thing. Is like, who's the bad guy? Because Clue got reabsorbed into Jeff Bridges last
Who
time.
is in
So
this?
Clue is?
Jeff Bridges.
Oh, Jeff Bridges is. Yeah. But I know. I'm saying in terms of bad guys, in terms of
Oh
ultimate
yeah.
villains, Clue, I said, got reabsorbed into Jeff Bridges at the end of the last movie.
Yes.
So like, it's not Clue.
No.
So like, is it a character that was from the last one? Is it like one of them? Like, is it a random character that like claimed power after Clue disappeared because nature abhors a power vacuum, and Jared Leto's just gonna slide into that role and just be new villain?
I mean, I don't know.
Like,
I mean, I was already
how-
probably gonna
how-
watch this, but I'm gonna watch this.
How are they escaping the? Or is it like, are we gonna get? Is the bad guy of this gonna be evil Tron Rizzler? Is Tron, because like this movie? What's this called? Tron Ares.
Yeah, and Jared Leto's Ares.
Tron is still in the name, right? So like, are we actually gonna get a Tron in this one?
Who's to say? I don't know. I don't. We'll find out when we watch this movie in theaters. 'Cause I'm gonna
Questions
watch it
to
in
be
theaters.
posed for the future.
Jordan, did you download, or did you? I guess not, because we haven't had internet. Apparently, Jordan, there's Minecraft movie DLC.
Yeah, I saw that, and I haven't gotten to try it, but I saw that it was a thing.
Would you like to know what it is?
Sure.
The Minecraft movie DLC by Spark Universe allows players to enter an arcade solo or with friends to partake in several different activities. This includes competing in ultra races, reliving the first night in the overworld, and sneaking through the woodland mansion. Get your ticket and your pickaxe and dig into a new adventure. That's
So scenes from the movie, basically.
yes. It says there is also a Minecraft live movie event. Yeah, and it's doing shit from the movie.
Cool. That'd be cooler if I saw the movie.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, we will watch that movie, and we'll do a big old review on it. Eventually. One day.
Down the line.
We're not gonna be like SEO friendly on this one and watch it the week it comes out, because who cares? Who cares?
It's too late. It's already passed.
Who cares?
Done.
We've
missed that window.
We didn't though, because who cares? We could have. We had lots of time.
I mean, it's a good thing we didn't, because we couldn't have done it until today anyways, and we would have missed that window anyway.
They're not wrong. So, Jordan, the Switch 2. I've saved this for the end. This is the final story. Is it the final story? It is the final
It's
story.
the final story. Do-do-do-do.
And Jordan, in under 40 minutes. And it didn't feel rushed, baby.
Shaka.
Anyway.
So the Switch 2.
The Switch 2,
that's
eh?
a thing.
That is absolutely a thing. Look, the funniest...
Oh, he's dying.
That's alright. The funniest thing I saw was from it was a TikTok where the person was like, and surprisingly, Nintendo announced Mario Kart, and I just didn't get around to it. Make a video where I was like, surprisingly, it's Mario Kart. They were always going to announce one.
Yeah, no, that's not surprising news. They've been making a new Mario Kart since the 90s.
Since like the dawn of time.
Like pretty much every year. Like saying it's surprising that there's a Mario Kart on there is like saying it's surprising that there's a new Madden game.
And it's funny because I watched the trailer
It's not surprising.
and I was cynical and I was like, oh yeah, it's another new Mario Kart. And then they did announce some kind of interesting features. Like I do like the I can't remember what it was called, but it was the mode where it's like basically like an even longer like continent spanning race where like if you like
the Grand Prix or whatever. Not Grand Prix, but
Grand Prix or whatever. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And the fact that there's a free roam mode where you can, I mean, it's like stuff other kart racing games did like years ago, but like, hey, it's slightly different. I'll give it that.
I mean, I just don't.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
The thing, a couple things that make for that game. For one, the free roam, I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't see. I would drive around for all the 5 minutes and then be like, okay, I'm done now.
Like you drive around with your friends and then you take pictures.
Yeah. Okay. So same problem I have with every other Nintendo game, Justin. I don't have friends.
Yeah, but other people do.
No, I know. I'm just saying that's why I don't get it.
No, I don't get it. I don't see the appeal.
And then the other thing that there's a number of characters that are in it which just look bad.
I mean, the cow made me go.
The cow made me go like, why are we excited for this?
And then people turned it into a weird meme, and I was like,
or like there was one where it's like, it was like a fish and it had no arms, and yet there's ones where it's on a motorcycle. Like there's ones where these creatures have no arms and stuff, and yet they're driving a motorcycle.
It just kind of
and I'm like, this looks stupid.
It just kind of feels like we've run out of Mario characters. That's just kind of what it feels like. Where they're like, hey, it's cow. What? It's just a cow. Who cares?
Well, it's supposed to be cow. I think it's supposed to be a reference to the Moo Moo Farm from like the Mario 64.
But it's still stupid.
Cows from that. Yeah. But it's so dumb.
It's dumb.
And that's not even talking about the fact that, and I have to mention this every time I talk about Nintendo, so forgive me, Justin. I hate their practices. I hate how their games never come down in price. I hate that they are making their prices like up at like $90 now or something like that, and they will never come down. No. So you will have the Switch 2 like 6 years later. The launch ones will still be $90. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable in a market where every other game console, the prices will go down. And I know the Nintendo fanboy is going to be like, well, that's what happens when you have like your own fucking property and that you're having on your own fucking console. Yeah, that's fine. That doesn't make it okay.
I will say though, I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna put it out there. That Donkey Kong game looks really fun. That Donkey Kong. Look, I like being big monkey. I like being a big monkey, and I like being able to pick up from the ground a rock and smash. I like smashing shit.
Okay, so here's what I'll say.
Free roaming Donkey Kong game. It looks fun.
The game looks fun and it looks enjoyable, but at a $90 price tag, I will never play it.
No.
And then that's not even mentioning the fact that, and I can't articulate why, but I don't like his redesign, and I don't know what it is. I've seen a lot of people who are like, it's the eyes.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's partially the eyes. I think it's partially the fact that he's too rounded.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
He looks like I saw one person who was like their headcanon is I don't remember which one it is, but from Donkey Kong Country 3, the silly looking one.
Oh yeah. Lanky?
Lanky Kong or whatever. I don't remember which Kong it is. One of the Kongs from Donkey Kong Country 3. The person's headcanon is that much like how the Donkey Kong that we grew up with is not the original Donkey Kong. The original Donkey Kong is Cranky Kong. That their headcanon is that this is not this is not our Donkey Kong. This is that one from Donkey Kong Country 3 grown up.
That makes sense. And
that's why he looks different and why he wears pants.
That makes sense. I understand.
I hate that he wears pants. It looks stupid.
So That's it.
I mean, I get it. I get in a free roaming Donkey Kong game, which was full 3D, they don't want us staring at a monkey's ass for like 30 hours.
It's
But
true.
like,
It's true.
you know, yeah, I don't love the redesign.
I don't love it. I mean, I love it. That's it for the news. So today's show, I forgot to say this at the top of the show. We have a big time special this episode announcement because this episode sponsor, is brought to you by a project that me and Jordan worked on. We spent several months recording it, and then they spent several months making it, and they were finally ready to announce it last Tuesday. It was a little audio. He calls it an audio book. I prefer audio drama. Time Warpers. Jordan, do you want to tell the people what Time Warpers kind of is?
Well, it is a project that we worked on, which we spent a lot of hours on. Fun. It'll be fun if you play a guessing game and see if you can guess which voices we each played.
Yes,
as for the story, sorry.
Go on. The story, go on.
As for the story, it's about. I mean, with a name like Time Warpers, you can guess that there are time travel elements in there. I don't want to give away all of it, but there's definitely some interesting characters in there with some interesting voice talent playing said characters.
Yep.
I haven't listened to the full thing yet, but what I have heard is an experience.
Yeah, no, they produced by and directed by our good friends over at Toon Talk 2.0. Well, Virus from Toon Talk 2.0. He's our director and our producer, and he wrote it.
And he was some characters. Let's see if you can guess which ones he was.
He also played some characters as well. Our friend Jake, who's been on this show a couple times, a podcast boss. He is the narrator. He plays, as I put it, a svelte, velvety voiced narrator, as well as several other characters who are charmingly befuddled, who are some of my favorite characters. There's Jordan does a real tour de force. If you want to hear Jordan be the villain, be a bad guy, he plays the villain. He also plays some other characters as well.
I play a villain. There are a few. You play one.
I do. Yes, I do play one of the villains. It's really cool. We're really excited. And if you click in the link in the description, go over to the last episode of Toon Talk. It's about the first 30 minutes. It's us. It's the rest of the cast. It's Virus is there. We're talking about it. And there's the first 6 minutes, a sneak preview you can go check out. We're really excited about it. It's 100 times more legitimate than what we do here. And there was, like I say, there's a real sound engineer, real talent went into making this. We're real excited,
and we were there as well.
And we were also there.
Some real talent was there, and then we were also there.
And we were also there, yeah. But go check that out. If you do check it out, in their comment section of that video, comment on it and say something weird or off-putting.
Also, before you even watch it, go on that one and put your predictions in the comment on who you think is going to play what character.
Do that.
And then watch the video, and then do a second comment where you say how hilariously wrong your guesses were.
And see, what's funny is I'm gonna cut that. I'm gonna make it its own video, and I'm gonna put it on our channel. And it'll be fun to see if Virus or Jake will come and watch this video. And see the bit where I said people should go to their video and watch their show. They're cool guys. It's a cool project where we had a great deal of fun making it. It was a good time. We enjoyed it. We're very excited for you to hear it. Go check it out. We don't know when the first episode is coming out yet, but tune in here. We'll let you know when it does. But seriously, go check them out. It's really cool. On with the show, Jordan.
On with the show.
Did you just become that character from Malcolm in the Middle?
I don't know
So
what you're talking about.
today, the second half of the show, you saw the title, you know what it is. It is indeed Pick an Actor 3, Fraser versus Radcliffe. It's not really a
Dan,
versus.
Daniel Fraser
And Brendan Radcliffe,
and Brendan
the
Radcliffe.
two high prolific actors. And we are going to talk about. I mean, I tried to get a nice. Jordan did set a challenge for me. He said no Harry Potter, and I did not pick Harry Potter. I have 9 movies.
Good.
None of them are Harry Potter. I will say it was a challenge. There was a point in the week where I considered it, because I just didn't have it in me to watch the Woman in Black or Lady in Black or whatever it's called. But
I would have
anyway,
made fun of you.
as per the tradition, Jordan may go first. Jordan, what is your first Brendan Fraser movie? Do you have anything to say about Brendan Fraser generally up top? A thesis, if you will,
Yes,
about his
I-
entire
I
filmography.
do. Because the movies, a good chunk of them, he does occasionally dip his toes into what I would call serious light. But generally speaking, the roles that I saw anyway, and I by no means I did not watch his entire. I did not have time to watch his entire filmography, but the ones that I watched, he kind of is a big physical comedy guy. Um, which it's funny to me that like yeah, Jim Carrey is prolific as like a big physical comedy guy, and he kind of overshadows Brendan Fraser a bit, so you don't really think of Brendan Fraser, but Brendan Fraser he started his role, his very first role, Encino Man, was as physical comedy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um, so that's kind of my summation, is that a lot of his roles kind of slide into that. Even in the things like the Mummy, he still kind of is in that physical comedy area, which I think is interesting. But my first rapid fire, George of the jungle, strong as he can be.
Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum.
Oh, watch out for that tree. Anyway, I watched George of the Jungle, which, did you know it was based on a animated television series of the same name
Yes,
from
yes,
1967?
yes. We've seen it. We used to own it on. We used to own some of it on VHS. I used to think that I thought that show is based off of the movie. I didn't realize it was the other way around.
Interesting. Which in turn is, of course, a spoof of fictional character Tarzan.
Yes,
Um,
the movie is very
but
funny. It
this movie's funny. It breaks the wall. It's a romp,
is a
Justin. It's a
romp.
silly,
Was it Leslie Mann's the girlfriend? And the funniest
silly movie.
Thomas Hayden Church as her racist boyfriend, which is it's just
Audrey, Leslie Mann,
Leslie Mann.
Brendan Fraser, Thomas Hayden Church, Holland Taylor,
Brendan Fraser getting, as he would describe it, unhealthily
and
fit, too fit.
John Cleese.
Yeah.
John Cleese as the
He
monkey.
is the monkey. Yeah, he is the ape.
Well,
named
the
ape.
gorilla.
But no, it's yeah.
Gorilla.
Brendan Fraser said that he got too thin for that movie, too skinny, and he is. Yeah, he's in good shape.
He's very, very skinny in that movie. I don't have a lot to say about this. If you like parody movies,
I do.
it's enjoyable. If you like self-referential, like making fun of stuff, then that's also fun. There is a sequel, but it does not have Brendan Fraser, as far as I know. So it's not relevant to this conversation.
All right. So okay, Daniel, Dan Boy, Dan Radcliffe. Now with Dan Radcliffe, with his filmography post Harry Potter, because his filmography is like I'd say 60% Harry Potter. His utmost desire to get as far away from Harry Potter as is possible. And so his filmography is surprisingly varied. like not a lot of his characters are all very different from each other in a way that has been interesting. So my first, that having been said, my first one is a sequel. I don't know if we did the first one before, but it's Now You See Me 2, where Daniel Radcliffe, he's the bad guy. The plot of this is, we've seen this, right?
Now You See Me Too. Yeah.
So
that's the Magician one sequel.
So the plot of this one is that he's the horsemen, the magicians are waiting around from the secret society to give them information or whatever, and they get taken in by Daniel Radcliffe, who is the bad guy, and the illegitimate son of Michael Caine, the bad guy from the first movie. And he basically blackmails them into like stealing this chip. And yeah, the movie he's not really in it a ton, but when he is, he's really fun as this like mustache twirly like villain, James Bond villain. And the thing I noticed about him overall is he's like a really small guy. Like he's just like really short and really small. So there's scenes where he like he's driving a car, and I'm so sorry, but he looks like a child driving, like, you know, like those images of a child driving a big truck, like honk. It's like that. He just looks like a little bitty man driving a car. So there's just a lot of scenes in these movies.
It's funny. I feel like he's our size though. Like I don't think he's that small.
He is 5'5", so I am 5'10", so he's technically 5 inches shorter than me.
I think I'm only like 5. I think I'm only like 5'8".
5'8", yeah. But like I think 5'10" to 5'5", I'm so bad with like inches. I think that's a lot. I feel like that's a lot.
Yeah, but for me,
he would be like up
like,
to my chest.
I feel like he'd be like up to here for me.
Yeah, but you'd still be taller than him. That's the point.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, his movies always like there's scenes where he's standing next to women and they're so much taller than him, but they don't look that tall. It's very, very truly bizarre. But anyway, this movie's really fun. The only thing I don't like about it is I hate, for whatever reason, they've chosen to have one of the evil characters be Woody Harrelson's twin brother, who is obnoxious.
Yeah, I hated that
twist. He was
twist.
so annoying. Otherwise, yeah, there's a lot of fun twists. There's a lot of fun twists in these movies. I'm really stoked for the third one, and I'm exceptionally happy it's called Now You Don't. That's it. That's Now You See Me Too. Jordan, what's your next movie?
My next one is 2010 American family comedy film called Furry Vengeance.
I believe that's the last one he made before he disappeared from Hollywood forever.
Well, not forever, but I don't know if it is. I'd have to look up an actual filmography.
I'm sure it is.
It came out in 2010.
It bombed horribly.
Yeah, it didn't do great. It had a budget of $35 million and it made $36.2 million.
Would you believe me if I say we've seen that movie in theaters?
I think I remember doing that, so yes.
We were like one of two. I think we're the only ones watching it.
To be fair, I don't think we paid for that one. I think we had free passes.
That was one of the free passes times, yeah.
Which, I mean, it's.
I recall parts of it being kind of funny.
Okay, here's what I'll say.
Shenanigans. It's a movie where shenanigans happens.
Yeah, like if you were to, it is what you think it is.
Do you like cartoon
if you were to
characters?
If you were to go into this expecting like something super serious or super intense, then you're gonna have a bad time. But it's a stupid, silly little movie about like cartoon animals fucking with a real estate developer.
In retrospect, like, I assume there's probably a cut or an edit or a version of this where the animals talk.
Probably, I think. Well, I mean, I think they do in a dream sequence.
Kinda, yeah. Well, they have I think they have one of those like they're having a fantasy and it's cartoon. You see their thoughts moments, but I mean there was probably like a version of this with like a celebrity voice cast, or there's a scratch track somewhere with a director doing voices. It just felt like that kind of movie where it's weird that there's no explanation for why they're like smarter than average animals.
Super smart.
Yeah, it's
way too smart.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't not magic, and there's no real explanation. That's one thing I remember about it being like, this is funny, but there's no real explanation given to why the animals are so smart.
Well, that's where I say if like, you just turn your brain off. It's
Yeah.
one of those kind of movies.
Fair.
Turn your brain off. Don't question things. Just acknowledge that it's a stupid movie, like a silly movie about talking animals.
Yeah.
Not talking animals, but
I
like they are talking to a degree
I find that's much easier
to
to
each
do that.
other.
Yeah, I find it's much easier to do that when you watch enough movies where you're like, yeah, it's just one of those movies where the point is that it's stupid. It's not meant to be
Yeah, like it's
highbrow
meant to be
stuff.
it's meant to be a family comedy
It's not
film.
that kind of movie, kid.
And it is. Like it is one that like yeah, if I had kids I'd take my kids to it.
Oh, for sure.
It's a Doctor Doolittle.
For sure.
I can't really think of another big movie which has a lot of animals like this, but you know what? Like it's brain rot. It's simple.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
cotton
yeah. Yeah, I
candy.
absolutely know what you mean. Try and set it.
But one final thing, to bring it all together back to my original point, it is another example though of Brendan Fraser really showing off his physical comedy skills because
Yeah.
I mean those animals aren't real
Nope, they're probably very likely CGI animals.
except for scenes where he has to like actually wrestle with the raccoon, in which case it's just a doll.
Yeah. 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 It's just a doll.
But yeah, physical comedy skills.
Physical com. So, that's it.
That is
So
it.
in my list of my God, what a weird movie Daniel Radcliffe did. My first one on that parade is a movie called Swiss Army Man. I cannot imagine you've seen Swiss Army Man.
Swiss Army Man, isn't that the one where he's dead?
Yes.
And the person and like there's this. I think I have watched that actually.
Really?
There's this. I think you got me to.
Did I?
There's this scene where he's using him as a sea-doo and
Yeah,
it's
it's his
the
farts.
water and the
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's weird. So yeah, Paul Dano is the guy he's about to hang himself, and yeah, Daniel Radcliffe, this corpse, like washes up onto the shore, and Paul Dano thinks he's alive, and yeah, it's him and the corpse like traveling through the woods back home, and the corpse has like different powers. So yeah, his
I've absolutely seen that one.
yeah, his farts, yeah, move him through water. He like throws up fresh water from his mouth. His erection is a compass.
It's so dumb.
And throughout the movie,
In the best way.
the corpse basically sees Paul Dano's phone, and Paul Dano tells him that it's his phone, and they go on a series of fake dates. And at the end of the movie, you find out that all of the stuff that happened with him and the corpse has been in and around the area, and it's unclear to me as to whether or not it's like meant to be like it's all in his head. I think they're supposed to be ambiguous, but it's a very weird, confusing ending. But yeah, it's just the performance is good from Daniel Radcliffe. He's acting like a corpse, and then for the back half of it, he's like this kind of half zombie man guy. It's very strange. Like I say, it's unclear as to whether or not it's in its head or not until the end, where everyone seems to see him and hear him talk. It's kind of confusing. I don't think the metaphor works crazy well, but it is a very fun movie, and it's very weird. If you want to see a very weird, fun movie, that's it. That's Swiss Army Man. I enjoyed that movie.
I understand. So,
Next.
is that all you have to say?
That is indeed all I have to say.
All right. Okay, so next one was an animated movie that came out in 2013 called Escape from Planet Earth.
I feel like I've seen that movie.
You have, I think. I think we watched that in theaters.
Did we?
I don't know. All I know is that it was made by Rainmaker, who is now Mainframe Studios. So it was made local. Budget of 40 million, box office of 74.6 million. It's fun. It's a fun little animated adventure.
I'm loving a fun animated picture that's not Disney.
Brendan Fraser is bigger brother, although the running joke in it is Brendan Fraser's character keeps calling the smaller brother like a little brother or whatever, and the running joke is he keeps saying, "I'm actually the older one."
That's funny.
Um,
That's a funny joke.
but yeah, they end up on Earth, and there's a crazy fucking military guy who's capturing aliens and stealing their technology and all that, and it's fun.
Shenanigans.
It's a fun little family film.
I mean, yeah, it looks fun. I remember. I recall liking it. George, do you have anything
Not
else to
much
say?
more to say.
No, not much
Not
more to
much
say.
more for me to say about that. It's really the rapid fires this week are really rapid.
Yeah,
Just
they live up to their name. Um, so my next one was the final one I watched, and it was actually the reason why I selected Daniel Radcliffe based upon Jake. On I think it was a clip short I saw of, pretty sure it was the Average Intelligence podcast, where he recommended Imperium and said it was really good, and I'd seen it pop up a few times. I was like, yeah, why not? And so it's about Daniel Radcliffe plays a FBI agent, FBI agent who goes undercover to try and find undercover in a white supremacist kind of group to try and figure out who's going to set off this bomb, what they feel is this dirty bomb. And he has to infiltrate and get close to what is essentially like an Alex Jones type conspiracy theorist character. And it's honestly very good. It's a little unsettling seeing it's well, I mean, just generally the movie's unsettling. There's a lot of really tense scenes. It's well performed, but just hearing Daniel Radcliffe say just slurs is weird and its own kind of uncomfortable for some reason. But one of the more interesting elements of it is just how there's I don't remember who wrote it, but this guy wrote about this thing called the banality of evil, and how a lot of times guys who do or are capable of the most horrific stuff are just regular guys. And so there's scenes of like they're at this barbecue at this white supremacist's house, and he's just a guy. He's just a regular, average day guy. He's got 2 kids. He's barbecuing, like he built him a treehouse, and he seems like he's this really wholesome dude. And like,
and then boom, racist.
pretty much, yeah. And then he's talking to the kids, and then just boom, they say a really horrible, like racist thing, and it kind of makes you realize that, oh yeah, racism is kind of taught. And there's this scene where Daniel Radcliffe's character is like, well, how did you get like this, basically? And he was like, yeah, I read it, and it just kind of showed how easy it was for someone to fall down a rabbit hole of like, and he ends up being, spoiler alert, he ends up the nice normal seeming one, not the ones with the racist tattoos, or not the ones with the who look like they're like skinheads, not those guys, but just the regular normal seeming dude. He's the guy they're the guys who did the bomb. And the movie's like, oh, guys like that, who are the really blustery ones, are usually just all talk. Like, they're not worth taking seriously. They will never actually do it. They're not the ones you have to worry about. And, like, there's a really fun scene of, not fun is not the right, but an interesting scene where the Alex Jones character basically just breaks down and is like, yeah, man, I shovel shit and they love it. Like, they eat it up, and I'm an entertainer. This is what I do, but I'm not like actually serious. I'm just full of shit. And it's like, yeah, that's exactly how guys like that operate. They prey on these nutsos. Again, performance really good. It's one of the really weird movies where Daniel Radcliffe does a American accent.
Oh, that would be weird.
It's weird. It's very strange. It's not. I never settle into it. My ear just is always put off by it. I have a movie coming later on that's going to be like that. But it's on Amazon Prime. It's totally worth watching. It's not overly upsetting. That's a foreshadowing for a later movie.
So you said that was your last rapid fire?
The last movie I watched this week.
Oh, okay. But not your last rapid fire.
No. There's more.
Okay. Okay, because I have 2 more.
Yeah, I also have 2 more.
So if that's all you have to say about that,
It is.
I didn't. My next one was a show. I didn't watch it all. There's way too many episodes. They're way too long. There's not enough time in the world that I could have gotten it done in time.
Oh, sorry.
I watched. There's that too. I watched Doom Patrol. At least 7 episodes, I think, of it. I think. might have been 8. Anyways, Brendan Fraser is fucking phenomenal on that show.
He's so good.
And he takes a show which would otherwise just be more of the CW kind of style of drivel. Not drivel, but standard
See,
stuff.
I disagree because
Um,
I also think Matt
and
Bomer is phenomenal on that show.
who?
He's I forget what his superhero name is. He's the guy in bandages.
Oh. I mean, yeah, he's okay. Like
His
they're all
shit is
okay,
really
but
good.
I just think that Brendan Fraser elevates it.
Brendan Fraser is also really good. My favorite scene, I don't know if you got to it, but my favorite scene in that show is in an episode with a character called Danny the Street, and it's Matt Bomer. He sings I think it's a Kelly Clarkson song. It's like people like and
Yeah,
it's like
you kept spoiling that one for me, and no, I never saw it.
yeah, because I wasn't sure if you're gonna get to it, but that scene's my favorite scene. It's really really good. But yeah,
I mean, yeah. To be fair, I like a bunch of the
really,
like
really
I
good.
think I think the actors all do a fairly good job on that show. I think it's impressive that the one girl who has like 40 different personalities or
I'm
whatever.
not a lover of her, but
I'm talking pure actress, like
yeah.
pure talent.
Well, it's even
To be
more
able
impressive when you see
to be
later
able to
on.
play all those different characters and make each of them feel unique and different, I
Later
think
on,
takes a certain level of skill.
what makes it more is later on you see the characters that she's being on the inside. You see like what they look like, and like her approximation of them is really quite impressive. They're like they're approximating each other in a way they're like, yeah, this is impressive. That first season also has Alan Tudyk as Mr. Negative. Mr. Negative, I think is what his name is. The villain.
Oh yeah, Mister. Yeah,
He's very funny.
don't remember what the character's name is, but yeah.
There's an episode where he has to narrate the backstory of a character in order to help the good guys. I don't remember what episode that is.
I love a good.
He's really funny.
I love a good a good fourth wall breaking gag, and
He's really fun.
it's definitely a fun one.
I will say the villains never get as good or as interesting as he is.
I will say it's always distracting to me whenever I'm watching a thing and I see Timothy Dalton show up, and I have to be like, why do I recognize him? And then I'm like, oh yeah, he's that guy from Doctor Who.
He's also James Bond, but he was Rassilon on Doctor Who.
That's not how I know him. I know him as the Doctor Who guy.
Yeah, fair enough. He's knockoff Charles Xavier.
I think I really I like Vic Stone in this one, Cyborg. I think the guy playing him is doing a pretty okay job.
I like him in spite of his bad costume. I think his costume is bad.
Well, yeah, I mean,
all the budget went to robot, and then they were like, well, let's get Party City Cyborg.
Yeah. Well, I choose to look at it. My headcanon is it looks jankier because it's early Cyborg.
Yeah,
he hasn't evolved into the cool looking Cyborg yet.
All right, I'll go with
that. He's still early Cyborg. But I can't, obviously, I don't know where it goes, but from what I saw, like I said, I think Brendan Fraser is like the strongest character on that show.
He's really good.
He's certainly like the main character.
Yeah. He's genuinely really good. Really good. Underrated show. Shame it got canceled. Underrated. Shame it got canceled. Jordan, is that all you have to say about Doom Patrol?
Yeah, that is.
Alrighty, Rue. So my next one was really interesting. So okay, spoiler alert. There's a bit on Miracle Workers where there's a show called Game Changers. And so when I was looking at Daniel Radcliffe's filmography, there was a movie that was called The Game Changers. And so I thought it was a spin-off of Miracle Workers. I'm like, what is... So we clicked on it, and it is a movie about Grand Theft Auto. So I don't know if it was on this show or if it was just I said...
Grand Theft Auto 1, 2, 3?
Well, I'll get to it.
San Andreas?
I'll get to it. Hold on, I'll tell you. But a while back we talked about how Daniel Radcliffe was going to be making a Grand Theft Auto movie. I think it was on the show, and we're like, how would that work? Well, it turns out they made it, and yeah, it's about the development of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. So this movie,
Hot coffee.
yes, it's sort of about hot coffee. It's about Thompson is a character. He's played by Bill Paxton. He's in this. And I didn't know this. Daniel Radcliffe plays the head of Rockstar Games, who is British.
Huh.
And yeah, it was them, the people who made Grand Theft Auto. They were British, and it was about their idea. That's why those games are almost like a parody of America. It's because it was their idea of America.
That checks out.
And yeah, and Daniel Radcliffe plays the head guy, and this was an unauthorized biographical movie that Rockstar sued them over. And it's quite interesting because it weirdly attempts to make you sympathize with Jack Thompson, even though he's a total asshole who just finds the conclusions he wants to find, and he does a bunch of bad shit. But it tries to present, also at the same time, tries to present like Grand Theft Auto as like being art, which it's not really.
Are not all video games kind of art?
I guess, but like not in the way they're describing it. And yeah, it's a lot of like him saying things in the game that sound like they're ahead of their time, but when you remember what the San Andreas looked like, you're like, it's not. And you see it on screen at one point. It's like it's not really all that, I guess, impressive. And yeah. And then the movie ends up being about how the guy who created it insisted that there be a fully realized sex scene in San Andreas, and so they programmed it in. He's like, oh, if video games are to be taken seriously, like music or film, then we must do what they do. Music and film have sex in them, so therefore we can have sex in them. And so yeah, and then
okay, sure.
And then he attempts to take it to the ESRB, who are like, yeah, no, if you put the sex scene in, you'll get an adults only rating. And his like partner, or whatever, is like, yeah, that's essentially retail suicide. He's like, yeah, but put it in. And so then they take it out, and then later on he insists that he made them do it. But the code for some reason for the sex scene is still in the game.
Yep.
Which like none of in the movie,
which is why in the PC version people were able to just mod it back in very easily.
Yeah. And in the movie that's presented as none of them know how or why that code is still in there. And then when he goes to he ends up having to go to like some sort of regulatory board and be like, if you take out that code, then you have to completely rebuild the whole game, and it's never explained very well because I'm guessing the people who made the movie just don't know, and they obviously couldn't go to Rockstar because they didn't have their permission and ask. So the conclusion of the movie just kinds up being like, the guy Jack Thompson gets his case thrown out and he gets disbarred, and then Grand Theft Auto gets away with it because they end up suing them. He ends up trying to sue them, and they basically get off scot-free at the end, and they end up making Grand Theft Auto 4. So it's like it's very weird. It simultaneously wants you to sympathize with Jack Thompson and the video game people at the same time. It's very weird. But again, performance is good. Daniel Radcliffe is good. It's his attempt at being kind of like a busybody asshole, and each of these performances is different. They're all different, and it was definitely an interesting story. It's a television movie, so I had trouble finding it, but if you can find it, it's worth checking out. That's The Game Changers. Next.
Well, my last rapid fire was Journey to the Center of the Earth, the movie that was so popular that when they inevitably made a sequel, Brendan Fraser did not come back for it.
He wasn't in it. They put The Rock in it instead.
Which I don't know if they didn't ask him to come back or if he didn't want to come back.
That's
but
post. That's post. He's no longer doing movies.
oh,
Yeah, that's in that era.
because this movie had a budget of 60 million and it made 244.2 million at the
Did.
box office. So it's like clearly it was popular enough to bring the kid back for a pseudo sequel.
I love adaptations like this where it's like we roughly follow the plot of the book, but we're not like married to it. We're making changes.
I mean, this one was the point was not even so much that it's about the story journey to the center of the earth. It's more them following the Vernians to the center of the earth, where his brother and his dad and etc.
He's like, what if Jules Verne was like a national treasure kind of movie?
Yeah, and it's fun. Also, I guess apparently it was a 3D science fantasy action adventure film, although I don't remember it being 3D.
That's probably during that period where they made everything 3D.
Because it was also promoted as Journey to the Center of the Earth 3D or Journey 3D.
I do have that. I do.
I don't remember that, but
I don't remember,
okay.
I don't remember working at the theater when the first one came out. I remember being at the theater when the second one came out.
This would have been 2008.
I guess
Definitely, you definitely would have been.
I guess I must have just been at the beginning of it.
I mean, what can I say? It's a dumb romp. A lot of his movies are kind of just dumb romps.
Yeah, he does a really good job.
Movies.
Yeah, he does a really good job of standing on a green screen and screaming.
Yeah, which
sometimes need that. You need that in Hollywood.
Here's what I'll say. I like for all of the movies I watched this week. I had fun with them all. They're not like.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess you didn't watch any of. You didn't watch The Whale. I'm assuming.
No, I didn't. All the ones that I watched were fun.
Yeah. Never seen a Brendan Fraser movie I didn't like.
I had a good time with them. Even the ones that were just okay. Like this one was just okay. It's just okay. It's fine. It is what you think it is. That's this movie, Justin. What's your last rapid fire?
My last rapid fire is another one where okay, here's the thing. I know I said that Daniel Radcliffe, all of his movies were mostly varied and very different from each other, which I still believe. Except for this one. This one was only the one I would characterize as being not very good. Being bad, in fact. I mean, not him. He's not bad at it. He's very fun. It's a movie called The Lost City. And,
of Atlantis?
No. Think more Uncharted. That kind of Lost City. Lost City of Z is what it's called. But Sandra Bullock is a Harlequin romance novel writer who is writing a series of books about an explorer who is exploring various temples and whatnot. And Channing Tatum is her cover model artist. Or cover model. The guy who's the cover model for her covers. And Daniel Radcliffe is the bad guy. Like a billionaire's son who kidnaps Sandra Bullock to help him find a, it's Uncharted, it's Indiana Jones, it's a random mystic, it's a MacGuffin. They want a MacGuffin that's in a Amazon, South American style, like temple or whatever. Daniel Radcliffe kidnaps her because she writes like an archaeological thing in her books that's really super accurate, and it's about Channing Tatum is trying to rescue her, and it's a romp. Jordan, they go on a big adventure. There's hijinks. For me, it kind of falls apart when it's like the beginning of the movie starts where she's on tour with the cover model, and like she's selling out like large rooms, and I'm like, is that a thing? That are like, do authors do that? Do they tour with the guy who's the cover model? Is that just a regular thing? Like they have an established relationship, and the crux of the movie is that she doesn't like him and like misjudges him and thinks he's a vapid like guy.
you're asking a question about whether an author tours with their model for their. I feel like that's a literature question. You might have to message our get in contact with our literature
That
friend.
is true. Maybe Allie will know. Maybe she'll know if that's the thing that
Um,
happens. Do
she
Harlequin
might know
romance novels? Do they tour with their
with their
models?
cover novels, cover
Writers.
model.
Do the Harlequin romance writers tour with their models? Like this was Fabio out there doing book tours with the author of his books. Like, is that a thing that happened? And yeah, his character in this is effectively the same as his character in Now You See Me Too. He's a bit more sassy. He gets a couple more one-liners that are kind of funny. There's an honestly kind of funny joke where they're trying to run away from these motorcycles and they hide behind a bush and they string out this like rope and the one of the motorcycle guys like crash like stops in front of it and the other one crashes into them and they both go sailing over a cliff and they both like Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum stand around and be like, well, I mean, the first guy could have stopped. The second guy could have stopped better. Like, that's on them. That's not on us. And Channing Tatum's like, no, we did that. This is very much on us. And so then later on, after it's the big third act, Sandra Bullock gets kidnapped. The one of the thugs is blowing smoke in her face, and she's like, "Why are you doing that?" And Daniel Radcliffe's like, "Yeah, he's really upset apparently about a motorbike accident that happened earlier." And yeah, it's not very good. It's pretty funny at times, but the story problems and just it's also another one of those movies where like it's trying to pretend that Channing Tatum is unattractive, and it's like he's not. Like it's yeah. And also, there's a lot of really funny scenes where, yeah, once again, Daniel Radcliffe is standing around guys who don't look like they're that tall, but he looks really short next to, where he's supposed to be intimidating, and it's very, very funny. That's it. That's my last rapid fire. It's time for the half scenes, Jordan. It's time to
Dive into those half scenes. Okay, so I guess I will go first. Now, couldn't do Brendan Fraser without talking about at least one of the mummies. So I decided to talk about the first mummy, which, as an aside, you know, everybody thinks of action movies and they think like Indiana Jones. Now, I wanna kind of maybe say something controversial here. I think that the Mummy and Indiana Jones are basically the same kind. Like
Oh
they're
yeah, they
very
absolutely are.
similar.
They absolutely are. They absolutely
And
are.
no, no, that's not the controversial opinion. The controversial opinion, potentially controversial opinion, is I think that Brendan Fraser is 1,000 times more interesting as an actor than Harrison Ford is in those movies.
I can't disagree.
I think,
But also, I
I
think
think,
that's because I like the Mummy more.
well, but I like the Mummy more because Brendan Fraser is a more interesting and likable character.
Yeah, I mean, hey, maybe.
Doctor Jones from Doctor Indiana Jones is kind of just a dick.
I mean, maybe if Indiana Jones dialed up the wild magic bullshit a little more, they'd be on equal footing. The fact that there's a
I mean,
mummy.
you say dial up the magic shit. I mean, Indiana Jones is a series which has the Ark of the Covenant, people ripping chests out of hearts out of
Yeah,
chests,
but never
and
quite.
a dial of destiny which lets them travel through time. They have plenty of magic shit.
Yeah, well, yeah, but what I'm saying
It's just
is,
as magical as a mummy.
what I'm saying, I don't know. It's just something about the mummy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily know that I necessarily agree.
That the mummy is better.
No, well, I do like the mummy better. Just that, yeah, I
I think
lost
I
it.
think I think that Brendan Fraser and Harrison Jones are essentially playing like the same character, and Brendan Fraser does a better job, in my opinion.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I guess I don't necessarily disagree.
Um, Which, I mean, yeah, we've all seen. I don't feel like I need to do a plot by plot recap of the Mummy. It's from
There's a
1999.
mummy. He
If
comes back
you
to life. The CGI
if
looks
you
pretty
haven't
sweet.
if you haven't watched this movie yet, then get out, go
There's
watch it.
there's the big hamster wheel. You know that does. What does the big hamster wheel do?
The what?
You know when he goes to the when they go to the prison or whatever where they're saving Brendan Fraser, in one of the establishing shots, there's a guy on a big hamster wheel,
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
and it doesn't you don't really know what it's doing.
Um, the other reason why I compare this to Indiana Jones is because they both take place in like the 20s.
Oh, I mean it's they're both the same kind of movie. They're like a B serial or whatever. Indiana Jones is like a parody of it's basically in a way a parody of the kind of story that the Mummy is.
Yeah, all I know is that I think this is better than
Special
Indiana
effects
Jones.
are really fun. Like the bugs are man. They showed this movie to me in 8th grade. It was creepy back then. It was like, ugh.
And there's also just the fact that like, yeah, unlike in the Indiana Jones movie where there's like no chemistry between him and his female like companion, there's absolutely chemistry between Brendan Fraser and the what's her name in this one.
That is true. I don't
Like
disagree.
way more. This is just yeah, it's just better than Indiana Jones.
That
That's
might
my
be
hot. That's my hot take of the day.
that might be a hot take.
Um, don't come at me in the comments because I don't read the comments.
I mean that's fair.
Justin will read the comments, but I don't do that here.
We don't.
So that's the Mummy.
That's the Mummy.
Oh, I guess I could tell you what the budget was 80 million and it made 418.1 million. So you can understand why this later spawned some sequels.
Jordan, vamp for like 30 seconds while I figure out what this voicemail is. 1 second.
It also, was part of the Universal Monster franchise, or it later the Mummy, the Tom Cruise one, Universal Monsters. Can I stop venting now?
Yeah, you can. It just kind of appeared to be. Well, it was weird. It was like international call, and I had a voicemail, and I'm like, "What is that?" And it's just the Chinese consulate. Only Jordan knows what it is.
I see. I see.
I was like, "Oh, I always hate that." It happens to me. It distracts me every time.
Plus, I think the other reason why this one, I think the reason for me why the Mummy works better than Indiana Jones as well, at least the first, if I'm comparing this to the first Indiana Jones, is the first Indiana Jones, they're hunting a magical mystical object and trying to be stopped by Nazis. There's like an unstoppable mummy monster, like akin to the Terminator. There's like a thing which they have to stop, which is not just Nazis.
I mean, hey, the Nazis were a thing.
No, but you know what I mean, like a
do.
force.
Jordan, is that it? Is that it for the Mummy?
Let's see if there's any other interesting things that I can. I mean, the special effects still hold up pretty well.
They do.
They're
looking a little mid to early 2000s in that way that all CGI from that era does, but
a little bit. I will say, I don't remember the sequels very much. I'm not even sure if I've seen the sequels.
Yeah, I've definitely seen the sequels.
Yeah, I know you have.
I mean,
but I don't know.
we've definitely seen the third one. That much I could say.
Well, I know I've seen the Dragon. I guess I more mean I don't know if I've seen the Mummy Returns.
That I cannot confirm.
But I will say, like after watching this one, I don't really know how there is a sequel.
The Mummy Returns.
No, I know there is a sequel. I'm just saying They don't really. They don't leave that open.
It's magic.
There's not really. Yeah, I don't.
It's magic.
Yeah.
He does a magic.
Anyway,
he does a big magic and then he returns.
But they sealed it. They like sent him off to the afterlife. He's gone.
Jordan, magic flying pirate ship.
Ugh, God damn that magic flying pirate ship.
Damn that.
That's the
magic flying
mummy.
pirate ship. Huh. Let's do horns first. Okay. So, horns. I have to begin before I cue the trailer for horns. I have to tell a story about horns. Many years ago, I saw the trailer for this movie. And it looked really fun, really funny, and it looked really clever. And I insisted to my friends that we watch it. And then a really bad thing happens in this movie that I will talk about later, as respectfully as I can, that utterly embarrassed me because it was really uncomfortable. And then the rest of the movie is toned weird. That's Horns. Okay, so Horns is another one of those Daniel Radcliffe does an American accent kind of movies where he does an American accent. It's very weird. You've seen Horns, right?
Yes, I have. It's been a while, but I have watched it.
The plot of this is that Daniel Radcliffe plays a guy named Ig, and his girlfriend has been killed, and the whole town thinks he did it. He done did it, and he is trying to prove his innocence. And out of nowhere, he grows a pair of devil horns, which causes people to confess their worst feelings and desires to him, and otherwise do their worst feelings and desires in front of him. And he uses those powers to investigate who actually killed his girlfriend. And Heather Graham is there as the waitress, and the guy from Across the Universe is there as the brother. And it's honestly a pretty fun movie for 90% of it. The bits where he's using the horns on people are funny, are legit funny. The bits where he's using the horns to torture people is upsetting, but also like cathartic because these people kind of deserve it. It's a really interesting movie. With what people admit. I'm stalling because it all gets ruined and this is a big twist. So this is where I'm going to stop and be like, this is a hard movie to recommend because it is mostly really good until the twist. So I'm going to give away the twist and it comes with kind of a trigger warning. So the twist is you find out that the Daniel Radcliffe's childhood friend, who is also his lawyer, who's been covering him in court, lawyering for him in court, he's the one who killed Marin after he sexually assaults her. And they show the sexual assault, and it goes on for a uncomfortably long time, and he does a bunch of actions that make it, as much as it's already upsetting, even more gross and upsetting. Like I say, it goes on for way too long, and then the rest of the movie, the tone is kind of weird. Like it just kind of it feels you just feel uncomfortable for the rest of the movie. It makes the climax not really all that fun, and the ending of it is very strange. It is a very fun movie until the end. Like the end just ruins it. It's a good performance, good performances by everybody in it. But yeah, that ending, Jordan, would you agree? Does the ending ruin it?
I would agree. It makes what's otherwise, from what I remember, again, it's been a hot minute, but from what I remember, it makes what's otherwise a fairly entertaining film, and kind of just puts a sour note on it.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm always a firm believer that you never. I get, look, movies reflect real life, but it doesn't need to be those kinds of scenes in movies ever.
Well, my thing is
that's my hard line. That is my hard line.
My thing is that you can allude to a thing without needing to show it.
Yeah,
like you can have the impact of the reveal of the fact that he did it without actually needing to show it.
Especially just they take it, what he does in the scene takes it too far for me. Even already, as it is already too far, it's just like, ooh, that's gross. and it makes an already gross, uncomfortable moment more uncomfortable. I'm like, I don't like that. I don't need that. And yeah, it taints what is otherwise an alright experience. Like, earlier in the movie, like, I'm laughing, I'm having a good time, but, like, this time in the back of my mind, the whole time, it's at least less bad because I know it's coming this time. But, like, the first time I watched that movie with my friends, it was, like, it was so embarrassing. It was like, oh, I can't believe I insisted we watch this movie. And it was like, yeah, it was just, like, just soured the whole experience. An otherwise pretty okay movie. But that's it. That's Horns. The rest of this is way less of a bummer, I promise, John. What's your last half scene?
Well. My last half scene is a movie called Monkey Bone.
Monkey Bone.
Which is a 2001 American black comedy fantasy film. Which, as an aside, I was just reading through the cast list. I never realized that the satyr was Giancarlo Esposito.
It absolutely is him, yeah.
I've watched this movie like a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, and I've never known that.
When I watched it, I was like, I saw his name in the credits, and then I was looking for him, and I went, wait, is that him? And I was like, straight to Google, yep, yeah, that's him. Yeah, I maintain that movie is weird and upsetting, and I don't know who the audience is for. I'll stand by that opinion.
I mean, to me, it feels like it's supposed to be like a scary movie, or like
but it's too. What did I say when I did this last time? It's too weird for adults, or it's too childish for adults. It's too weird and scary for children.
Yeah, it definitely gives me Beetlejuice vibes.
Yeah, but
where it's like that's not a kids movie.
Yeah, I don't mean that. Like oh man, it's one of those moments where I knew you were watching this. I should have gone back and reminded myself what I said, but I just remember it being like, this is weird and upsetting, and I don't know who the audience is for. I understand why this didn't catch on.
It doesn't. Oh, it did very poorly.
Yeah, I fully understand why. It's just a confused.
It doesn't
movie.
feel. It's not. It does not feel like it's meant for kids. Is what I'll say.
No,
there's too many there's too many scenes of like Brendan Fraser as Monkey Bones dancing above his girlfriend in a sexual manner for this to be a kids movie.
I know it's made by the guy who made Nightmare Before Christmas.
Is it?
I believe he directed it. Yeah.
Interesting. I know that it's based on a book called Darktown.
It is. It has very little to do with that book.
I don't actually know what the book is about.
Actually, no, that's not true. Actually, I think it does have a. I think the plot is quite similar. I think just some of the characters are different. But it's like the sister. He's in a coma. The sister wants to kill him. I think that's all the same.
Wants to promise to pull the plug.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But yeah, I like it. I think it's a fun movie. But I can see. I understand why it didn't do well. It's right up my kind of wheelhouse of weirdness. So
sort of. I mean, I recall liking it, but I mean, to be fair, I like it more than I like. But I also really like Brendan Fraser, so that really does a lot of heavy lifting. But I certainly like it
absolutely
more than I
does
like
a lot of heavy.
Yeah,
I as well.
Do not.
But yeah, it had a budget. It had a budget of $75 million. Do you want to guess what it says the box office here is?
$20 million.
Nope. Lower.
$10 million.
Lower.
$5 million.
Higher.
$7 million.
7.3
million.
A little bit higher.
4 million.
Little bit higher.
5 million.
One more number.
6 million.
Nailed it. First try. 7.6 million.
That is not a lot of money.
Yeah, it's not a lot of money when it spent 75 million.
It's not.
That was very much a loss.
Very much.
Is there anything else? Puppeteers. Lee Armstrong, Enrique Bilson, yada yada yada. Okay, that's cool. Influences, accolades, references. No. Box office? Uh, yeah, no. Yeah, it did not do well. It had an approval on Rotten Tomatoes. It has an approval rating of 20%.
I think I watched
Mixed or
it for.
average.
I think I watched it for Is It Rotten? I think is what I
I,
watched it for.
I could believe that because it did. Yeah.
I'm like, because I'm saying, I'm like, what? I know I've done this for an episode. What episode did I do it for?
um, but I mean, that's all I can say about it. There's not too much about this. I guess I could do a plot summary, but
No.
Cold Notes version, animator ends up in a coma. His figment takes over his body. He has to set things right.
Oh yeah. I remember because they have Stephen King show up, and he's like, Cujo took over my body. I'm like, really? Not Pennywise? Come on.
Yeah, all the famous people or whatever,
Really?
famous actor writers, and yeah.
The dog? That's not even that funny of a joke.
I would have done Pennywise
Do Pennywise.
personally,
Pennywise makes more sense.
but yeah, that's Monkey Bone.
That is Monkey Bone. Okay. So my other half scene is a movie called. I think it's called Weird: The Al Yankovic Story. It's that biopic movie about Weird Al Yankovic. That's not really a biopic movie. That is a parody.
A mock-opic.
Myopic.
Mockumentary. Myopic?
But it's a parody of biopics. It goes through a parody version of Weird Al Yankovic's life, and it has all of the cliches of a stereotypical biopic. He's got the parents who don't support him. It's got he does drugs, he drinks, he has a girlfriend who's a bad influence, who is Madonna, who just wants him to do a parody song of her song so she can get that Yankovic bump. He goes and he fights Pablo Escobar, and Madonna takes over Pablo Escobar's drug empire. And there's really quite a fun action sequence where he fights off a bunch of ninjas or whatever. That made me go, man, I would love to watch a Daniel Radcliffe action movie. Put a pin in that. And it's just the whole movie. I was like, this is weird. This is a weird movie. Which, like, hey, that's the name of the movie. The performance, Daniel Radcliffe. This is where I'm like, yeah, man, he's just trying to get as far away from Harry Potter as he's like arising from an egg, playing the riff to Beat It. Also in this movie's universe, he both dies, comes back to life, and wrote Beat It and Eat It, or he wrote Eat It and Eat It, or Beat It is a parody of Eat It in that universe.
Beat It.
You remember?
Beat It.
You've seen that movie, right?
Oh, I did it on this show, baby.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I really enjoy it. It's really funny. It deserves that Emmy.
Yes, it did.
Shame it didn't go to theaters because it could have made money. But anyway, that is weird.
Is it weird, or is it just a movie called Weird?
It is a movie called Weird. The Weird Movie.
Okay. Well, if that's all you have to say about that, then I think it's time we move on
To them
to have not
seens.
So, I've been informed that I have in fact seen this, but I have no memory of having seen it, so it still counts as I have not seen. I watched Bedazzled.
That movie's really fun.
Which is a fun fantasy romantic comedy film where apparently Brendan Fraser has never heard of a Faustian deal in his life.
He's never heard of a Faustian bargain in his life.
Because, yeah, he gets 7 wishes. Devil has to grant him his wishes. If he makes all 7 wishes, she gets his soul. But boom, would you look at that? Every time he makes the wish, something goes wrong. There's a twist. And it's just a delightfully fun time.
Like, you might be an amazing basketball player, but you also got a tiny winky.
You got a tiny winky.
And you're a total moron, apparently.
Or, I don't remember what all the wishes were.
The one was he's a Spanish drug lord.
No, the first one was that he wished to be rich and powerful. and she's like, "Oh, honey, do you think that like most rich and powerful people aren't into like a drug empire? You're sadly mistaken."
And
Something to
then,
that effect.
then it was the aforementioned basketball player with the tiny winky and the small brain. The
The first,
author who is
as a
gay.
test. As a test, he wishes for a Big Mac and large Coke. She takes him to McDonald's and places the order, and he has to pay for it. Faustian bargain. Uh, Further wishes. Uh, it doesn't specifically.
Yeah, it's the rich and powerful, the drug lord, the basketball player, the gay writer, and I think that's it.
Oh, the super sensitive. That was one of them. He wanted to be the super sensitive, and he's on the beach, and the douchebag shows up, and she's like take me, he's like, she's like, you cry too much. I just need a man who wants to just use me and be done with me after one night, and like not cry. And it's a silly, fun little romp.
It's fun, yeah.
Um,
I remember watching
what?
that in theaters.
I don't. I have no memory of watching it before
Yeah,
that when
I
I
remember
watched
my
it for
one bit
this.
with that. It is a little slightly weird. It's a little too fast from he's a mumbly weird idiot to he's now regular Brendan Fraser who's articulate. And like I get that that's supposed to be his arc, but it just happens a bit fast for me. Where I'm like, I get why people don't want to be your friend, Brendan Fraser. I get it. You're weird.
As for him changing too fast, I choose to believe that he changes so fast because he now has seven different lives that he has memories of, because the devil did not erase the memories that he had from each of those wishes of the lives that he lived.
This is true.
So
That's true. That's a good point.
I choose to believe that that's why he's evolved so quickly, is because he has seven different lives worth of memories in his head now.
All right, that's believable.
That's my headcanon. Um, yeah, I mean it came out in 2000, so it's kind of a timepiece where it's like it's from a specific section of time.
Yes,
Had
it
a
is.
budget of 48 million, had a box office of 90.3 million, so it wasn't like
Well, it did all
a
right. Yeah,
failure.
I think that was one of his most successful movies.
It was respectable, you know.
That's why he got to do the
Um,
mummies because he did that. I think.
Mummy came first.
Oh, and the other way
Mummy was
around.
Mummy was 97. This was 2000.
This was popular because he was popular at the time.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
It's
I don't
also
have much more else to say about this one.
it's also to
Although
my recollection a remake of a previous movie.
I was just gonna say it is apparently a remake of the 1967 British film of the same name,
Yeah, apparently the British film is not as good because it has neither Elizabeth Hurley or Brendan Fraser.
which is a comic retelling of the Faust legend.
Yes, yes, it is. That's why he has
But
the
that's
of a Faustian bargain before.
Bedazzled. It's solid. It's solid.
This is so my first haven't seen. I did a video where I said Weird after watching Weird. I did a video where I did a review and I said that I want to see Daniel Radcliffe do an action movie, and someone put a comment that said you should watch Guns Akimbo. So I've always been looking for a reason to watch Guns Akimbo, and so I watched Guns Akimbo, and during Guns Akimbo, it's sort of like if hold on. If Scott Pilgrim, so let's try it again. Guns Akimbo is sort of like if Scott Pilgrim and Crank had a baby, and then that baby just did like a mountain of cocaine.
Okay, that's okay.
Um,
That's what's the word I'm looking for? A stunning indictment. Indictment in
an image.
image.
I've cracked
Narrative.
a
I
sterling
don't know.
endorsement.
Endorsement. That's the word I'm looking for.
So, okay. So, Guns Akimbo takes place in a world where a criminal organization has essentially created an underground reality show where criminals compete to kill each other in various means. And a bunch of people all watch this over the internet. And Daniel Radcliffe, I cannot remember if he's British in this one. He might be American again. I think he's American again. He is I don't know what the term would be, but he goes into chat rooms and fights with trolls. That's what he enjoys doing that.
A white knight?
I guess a white knight, yeah. And so he enjoys hanging out at home and fighting with trolls in chat rooms. So he gets into the chat room of, it's called Schism, in the chat room of Schism, and he gets into a fight with the admins, and the leader of this gang shows up, and in a very the weird thing about this movie up top is it's both produced and distributed by Saban Films and the New Zealand Film Commission.
Okay.
So Saban Films,
right.
as in,
So Power Rangers made this?
yeah, Power Rangers and the country of New Zealand.
Oh. Okay.
And so the bad guy.
What is this movie about again?
Hold on, I'm getting through it. What's funny though is the bad guy, in a weird coincidence.
Did I miss a step here? Did you explain what this was already?
I'm getting to it. The bad guy, just as a real quick aside, he was also the bad guy on a show called, I can't remember what the title is, but it's like a Power Rangers knockoff made by Saban that didn't use any Japanese footage, and he was the bad guy. So he was in a Power Rangers-esque thing. It was very weird. Anyway, so he shows up and attaches handguns to Daniel Radcliffe's hands, and tells Daniel Radcliffe that he has to be in Schism, and he has to get into a fight with the girl who's like the head leader, who's killed the most people. And he puts them against each other. And it's Daniel Radcliffe in a panic, trying to get away from this woman, while also trying to survive this game, basically. And yeah, it's really, really fun. It's really, really frenetic. It has the same energy. Like, there's a lot of, he looks around a room, and, the world is, video game stuff, like in Scott Pilgrim. It's got that high energy that Crank has. The action sequences are phenomenal. I was going to share one with you, but it was really violent, and I wasn't sure Facebook was going to let me. But the action sequences are really fun. Daniel Radcliffe is really good. There's a couple of sequences at the end where he goes through a room, and he's got his two, they eventually call him Guns Akimbo, because he's got the guns attached to his hands, and he's walking through down the hallways, blasting guys left and right, and it's ultra violent in a cartoony, over the top way. It's pretty much exactly what you think it is from that point. It kind of devolves to massive action sequences of them. They go after the bad guys to try and stop this live stream or whatever, and there's a bunch of scenes of them just slaughtering guy after guy. It's really fun, really high energy, really entertaining, and I would this is one of those times where, Jordan, I recommend it to you, specifically you. You would really like that movie. It's right now.
Is it on anything?
At the moment, no, but I think it might go back to Amazon Prime eventually.
Well, when it does, I might just do that.
But yeah, it's another one of those just examples of Daniel Radcliffe he has that Harry Potter money, and he's just doing whatever he wants. He's I'm gonna do that weird movie where there's a great chunk of the movie is just quiet scenes of kind of Edward Scissorhands. You watched Edward Scissorhands, right? Or no, I did. But of him trying to open the door to get out, or put clothes on. At one point he runs into, because it's a movie that takes place in New Zealand, it has to have Rhys Darby. It's the guy, you would know him as the guy from Yes Man, the bank manager guy.
Oh, him, yeah.
He's in it. He's a homeless man.
What, does he have a contract with the new state of New Zealand or whatever?
That was a joke. I just every time there's something from New Zealand, he just seems to be in it. But he's a homeless man who Daniel Radcliffe eventually runs into, who's helps him get dressed or whatever because he can't because otherwise he'll accidentally shoot himself. And there's like scenes of him trying to like get out of bed. Yeah, it's really good. Trying to navigate basically having guns for hands and not shooting himself. It's really good.
I mean,
really...
that makes me think of it makes me think of the commercial where it's the guy where everything he touches turns to Skittles.
Yeah.
He's like, my wife had to feed me this morning and help me get dressed. And the guy's like, oh, that's so cool. And he's like, is it cool that I have never held my newborn baby? Is it cool that I can't dress myself in the mornings or feed myself food? Yes, I suppose it's cool.
But yeah, no, it's a really fun movie.
Ring, and then the phone rings. Ring, ring, ring. Sorry, I have to get that. Touches it, it turns to Skittles. Touches the desk, it turns to Skittles. It's a horror movie waiting to happen.
But no, it's a very fun movie. I had a good time. It was really high energy. I enjoyed it. Jordan, what's your next movie? What's your final movie, I suppose? Final Brendan Fraser movie.
Thumbs up. Well, my final Brendan Fraser movie is, from what I could tell, his first movie, called Encino Man, also known as California Man in several territories. It's a 1992 comedy movie, which has a quite young Sean Astin.
He was very young.
Samwise. He's like, I looked it up. He's like 23 when he filmed this, something like that.
That is young. It's a young
something to that effect. Or Sean Astin. Actually, I believe Sean Astin was 21 and Brendan Fraser was 23.
Oh wow.
Something to that effect. They're both very young, is the point.
The boys are young.
And Pauly Shore is also there.
Pauly Shore is also, like most of his filmography, Pauly Shore is also there.
So also, you can tell that this movie is filmed in the 90s and Slash comes out. Slash comes out in a earlier point in the world's time, because a big part of this movie is that Sean Astin's character is digging a pool in the backyard, and I just don't believe he has the proper permits or city counseling regulatories or anything like that. So it has to take place in a time before all that was necessary.
When was that necessary?
I don't know, modern day.
In modern times?
All I know is that in 1992, when this movie came out, he's just digging a pool in the backyard as a teenager. Yeah. Like he's still in high school.
I mean, to be fair, that also might not have been allowed in whatever, and he might have been breaking city ordinances.
Like with a shovel, he's just digging a pool.
Could be a thing that if the HOA phone, they might show up and be like, "Son, gotta pack it in."
All I know is that they find a caveman, which is Brendan Fraser, and then. But like he's not like a completely stupid caveman, because he can pick up, like he's like a small toddler where like when you repeat anything to him, he then is able to kind of repeat it. And again, it really is the beginning of Brendan Fraser's like physical comedy, because that's kind of is mostly what he does in this movie, is physical comedy. This movie has when it came out, words are hard. When it came out, it didn't actually do well, in terms of ratings and stuff. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has 17%, average rating of 3.5 out of 10, but it's become a cult classic, and it had a budget of $7 million and had a box office of $40.7 million.
All right.
So like it did pretty well. 88 minutes, nice easy thing. Although it's funny because and this is how you can tell that this came out in the when it came out, is because it doesn't really have an ending. It kind of just stops.
Oh, I hate movies like that.
After the prom, some of the students visit Dave's house for a pool party where Dave and Robin kiss. Meanwhile, Stoney and Link discover breast prints on the slider and paint covering the walls of Dave's home. They follow muddy footprints to the bathroom and find Link's girlfriend, who just survived the earthquake during the Ice Age. His girlfriend from the past, I'm assuming it means. He joins her in the bathtub and embraces her happily. She is also made to look like a modern human.
I
And
wonder
that's
if
it.
I wonder if
That's just how it ends. Apparently, there was made for TV movie sequel.
I wonder if the episode of South Park where they unthaw the caveman and it's just a regular guy. I wonder if that movie's based on this. The episode's based on this movie.
I could believe it. I could absolutely believe it. Yeah, there's a made for television movie sequel, Encino Woman, which is a thing.
So what so is the whole point of the movie is that Brendan Fraser is a caveman and he's a fish out of water? Because it doesn't really sound like it doesn't sound like what this movie is about.
The point is supposed to be that Sean Austin's character wants to be cool, and he's like, we have a caveman, like we'll use him and he'll help us look cool, and the joke is kind of that everybody likes Brendan Fraser's character, the caveman, more than they like Sean Austin's character.
Gotcha.
And like he immediately relates with like everyone. So like there's this scene where there's like the two, I don't know if they're actually stoners, but like the two stoner like characters, and like they immediately get on with him, and like the girls who Sean Austin, especially the one that he wants to like him, and in the beginning of the movie she's dating like your typical douchebag sports football whatever star, and then she ends up liking the caveman.
Gotcha.
Brendan Fraser, and like asks him to prom, and Sean Austin's character is kind of like seriously, like you'd rather go out with a literal caveman? You have terrible taste in men. You'd rather go out with a literal caveman than me? Like, and that's kind of supposed to be the point.
Oh, so he's like a 1980s.
Nice guy.
Nice guy.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
Kind of. I mean, I'm doing probably not as good of a job describing as I could, but you get the idea.
I get the idea.
Yeah, despite the negative reviews, Encino Man was a box office success.
All right. Jordan, is that it for Encino
And
Man?
today it is considered a cult classic. That is it. That's all. I'm checking out for the week. Good night. Goodbye. Tomorrow.
No. We got one more, Jordan. Jordan.
I'm away.
We got one more. My final one. Okay, here's the thing. I set out this week with this as just being like a quick rapid fire. Hey, I'll watch a few episodes of this, and we'll talk very briefly about the television show, one of the television shows that Daniel Radcliffe did. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was hooked like immediately. And it's a show called Miracle Workers. And Miracle Workers is a anthology show. There's 4 seasons. Unfortunately, I was not able to finish the whole show. I thought I might, but I still probably will, but I didn't for this week. But so each of the seasons is about something different. The first season is Daniel Radcliffe, and I don't know the actress's name, but his coworker girl character gets transferred to Small Miracles, and Daniel Radcliffe's been there a while. Steve Buscemi is God, and they present heaven as being like, as God as being like a eccentric kind of idiot millionaire who just everyone hates, and he's an infantile kind of man child who kind of made this planet but kind of fucked it up, and everything's broken and doesn't work right. I think Jordan saw the episode where he described the giraffe as a tall horse.
Yeah, all the animals were different variations of horse.
Yeah, different variations of horse. And Daniel Radcliffe gets real excited about like creating small miracles. Like they cannot be like unscientific, or they can't whatever, like someone accidentally finding their keys or whatever. And basically the girl makes a bet with God that if she can complete one of the impossible prayers, he won't blow up the earth. And the impossible prayer is getting two antisocial nerds to kiss. And it's really, really funny. It's really, really clever. And it's really, really cute. And that's just season 1. And season 2, it takes place in like a fantasy world, like a Game of Thrones-esque style fantasy world, where now Daniel Radcliffe is a prince. He's like a spoiled, idiot man-child prince named Chauncey. The girl, Steve Buscemi, lest you think he has an ego, is now, I can't remember what his first name is, but his last name is Shit Shoveler. So he's the guy who literally shovels shit. He's like, why? Well, that's how it works. You eat, and then you shit, and you just leave it there, and eventually the shit shoveler comes in, and he cleans it for you. In one of the episodes, someone comes up with the idea called the hole, which is what it sounds like. It's just a hole, which puts them out of a job. So by the end of the episode, he decides to become a whole shit shoveler / hole maintenance. And his daughter is played by the girl who was Daniel Radcliffe's co-worker in the previous one, and she is Al Shit Shoveler. And it's that funny kind of show where like it's like a fantasy world, but they all talk like it's doing like modern. So like they when they're traveling in the buggy, they have the singer who's the radio, or the town crier is just a talk show. It's just like a Fox News style talk show. Stuff like that. There's a really funny episode where one of Daniel Radcliffe's ducks escapes, and he like tricks the guy in order to the guy who was one of the guys who had to kiss in the previous season. He's now the girl's brother, and he's an idiot. He's a gullible idiot. He tricks him into giving him the duck. It's just really funny. And then the third season. Hold on. What was the third season?
Yeah.
I'm just trying.
The third season. Come on, don't leave us hanging.
Oh, I'm sorry. This fantasy was the second season. Third season is the Oregon Trail. That's what it is. So the third season is it's literally they're doing a game of the Oregon Trail, and like they go through there's an episode where they hunt buffalo, and it's really funny because they're all like getting real like excited about it. And Daniel Radcliffe's like, yeah, they're not really doing much. He's like, yeah, we're gonna go get them. It's gonna be really dangerous. We're going to war. And like, yeah, we could literally just casually walk up to them and get one of them. It would be really easy.
But if one character doesn't get dysentery, is it really Oregon Trail?
There is an episode where one of the characters, I believe he gets dysentery, but he doesn't die. But there's literally an episode where they have to ferry the river or they have to ford the river or take the ferry. Which, by the way, always take the ferry. Always take the ferry. Right?
Okay. I understand.
Always take the ferry. And it's just, yeah, it's also...
always take the ferry unless you're in BC.
Yeah. And in that one, Daniel Radcliffe, he's now a priest, and him and the girl is now a rich girl who's married to the guy who played her brother in the previous season. And now...
So, question. Do they remember their past lives?
No, these are all entirely different stories with entirely new characters that just kind of happen. There's like crossover similarities between this, so there's certain constants. So like Daniel Radcliffe and the girl usually wind up together. Steve Buscemi kind of exists in kind of like not a mentor, but he's kind of he's kind of an adult idiot. Usually they're friends with them. Yeah, there's just certain constants that are similar between seasons, but mostly the characters are different. So in the Oregon Trail season, in the Oregon Trail season, Steve Buscemi, he is now like a Billy the Kid. He's something the teenager, and so he's like an outlaw bandit cowboy guy he's the one who's leading them through the Oregon Trail. And so they start off with Daniel Radcliffe as the priest doesn't trust him, and it's about towards the end of the season, him and the girl get together, and there's the whole crisis of like they think they're being like shunned by God because of their affair. It's quite funny. And then the final season is now it's a post-apocalyptic kind of like Mad Max style world, and The girl is now. Oh man, I wish I could remember the actress's name. It wouldn't matter. You wouldn't know who I was talking about anyway. But she is now basically like the warlord from Mad Max.
Yeah.
She's basically that, and Daniel Radcliffe is basically Mad Max, and they wind up getting married and moving into a city instead of living out in the wastelands, and it's about them adjusting to like domestic life. And I only made it like 2 or 3 episodes into it, and Steve Buscemi is like, he's this sales guy who sells junk, and Daniel Radcliffe works for him, and it's like regular domestic stuff, but like with the backdrop of the apocalypse. And it's like, yeah, once again, that's who else is in it. The guy who plays Dopinder is a character in it. He's an actor who's in it.
Oh yeah.
In the first season
from Deadpool.
From Deadpool, yeah. The first season, he's like God's assistant who has to help God do all this like menial. Like at one point, he's helping God literally wipe his ass. And then in the second season, he is the king's general, who is basically Daniel Radcliffe's babysitter. The third season, he's you said you didn't finish it. No.
Are you going to?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's really funny, and it won't be taken. In the final season, he's basically a Terminator. But yeah, I would say I like, it's not to say they're not all funny, but they're never as funny as that first season. That first season is honestly the best season. The rest of them are okay, but like they're just never as interesting or as like, because I'm not into cowboy stuff, so like a western parody doesn't really do it. I don't really like post-apocalyptic stuff, so like the humor. Also, Daniel Radcliffe is just phenomenal. Like, he is genuinely like effortlessly funny. It's a very, very funny show in a way that's like, I think Jake described it as being disarming almost, and it really is. You're like, oh, I wasn't expecting this to be quite this good. I mean, you walked in and didn't watch like 3 minutes of it out of context, and you're like, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah. It reminded me of Blackadder Through the Ages.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it really reminded me of. With the like, each season is a different kind of set of characters, and they're all similar, but they're all different. Like, the priest character is very different from Chauncey.
Same ensemble.
Yeah.
Same ensemble, but different worlds.
Him as Chauncey in the second season, especially at the beginning of the season, is genuinely, like, it will make you forget he was ever Harry Potter. Like, it is genuinely some of the funniest shit I have ever seen. Like, it is very funny. Very good show. It's on Amazon Prime.
High praise indeed.
For you, Jordan, it's on Amazon Prime. So, you can absolutely watch it. That's it, guys. That's the end of Pick an Actor 3. All right, let's do a final. Ultimately, I really like these movies. Most of these movies, like, at their worst, they were still funny. And he really has had. I mean, would you agree, based upon this brief cross section of his filmography, that he got far away from Harry Potter?
Yeah, for the most part, I would say so.
And I would say that you didn't watch a lot of the modern Brendan Fraser stuff, but he gets a bit more serious and a little less Brendan Fraser-y. A little more Doom Patrol, a little less Encino Man.
I liked what I watched.
That's it. Next week, the assignment for next week, which is, I mean, we already lost a day, but hey, is what it is. We're gonna do a Hanna-Barbera special. So that's anything related to Hanna-Barbera. So that's Scooby-Doo, that's Yogi Bear, that's Huckleberry Finn, that's the Alligator, that's Exit Stage Left, and
Johnny Quest.
It's Johnny Quest. It's Hanna-Barbera. It's Hanna-Barbera. That's next week. Tune in. In the meantime, Jordan, are you going to do Minecraft Monday on a Tuesday? Because normally, so you guys know, Jordan would be doing Minecraft Monday right now. But
signs point to maybe.
Signs be pointing to maybe. Normally, on Mondays, Jordan would be doing Minecraft Monday. We will hopefully be back on Sunday on our proper day next week. You can email if you want to be on the show. You fill out our Google form. If you want to sponsor the show, you can email. It's justinsbusiness@gmail.com. We are on TikTok, Spur of the Moment P, and I'm on TikTok, Justin Spurr. You can find me there. Minecraft Tuesday for Jordan.
on Zethcore 187.
Go check out Time Warpers once again. We're real proud of that. That's real exciting. And I think that's it, everybody. I think we'll see you all next week. Have a good day.
Night. Have a